that time of the week again. Hope everybody is doing well. Midway through the week, almost ready for the weekend. Let's say hi to the folks that have come in already. Let's see what we got here. I know Scott McClory was first, and firefighter detecting was second, and then Clark's Cove followed in with third, and AJCRX came in fourth. Sounds like a race already. JBP. What else we got here? Stories from the Signal. Hey, Patrick, Danny boy. All right, my double vision's like crazy bad today. She Digs, Alabama. Hello. Martin Smith. Lucky Duck Digger. I know we got more people coming in before we do this, but I'm going to go ahead and bring up Robert Thiessen. Alice Wonderland. Did I already say you? Well, never a bad thing to say you twice. Right? All right. There's Robert Thiessen from Boyertown Historical Society and
there it is.
Come Out Swinging. I got my late, so this is you guys are getting to see it firsthand tonight. Yenta Samurai. How's it going, buddy? So we were chatting about like really nothing much, but have you been detecting lately?
I have. Actually, more so probably over the last couple of weeks than previously. If I get out like once a month or once every 2 months, like that used to be a lot for me. So I would be happy when I got to do that. But the past couple of weeks, I've been out like almost every week, every other week at the worst, so it's been kind of cool. And we're getting back on some good stuff. So we're pretty excited about that. We had the one small group I hunt with, we pulled a bunch of coppers out of a site. We pulled an 8 real, which was pretty freaking
Nice.
awesome. I pulled my first 2 real, which was really nice. Crotal bells, buttons, so and about 7,000 bullets. So, we're digging a lot of targets. We're digging a lot of targets. We're definitely improving in our shoveling skills. Let's put it that way.
That's the thing a lot of new people don't understand. Hey, Team Lynch. Hey, Bruce Delver, the Asylum. Is that you have to dig a lot of signals to find the goodies.
Yeah, I will tell you, in the same site that we've been hunting, the last thing that I found that really got me excited, one of those weird signals, like it was very high, like I'm digging with the Knox 800. It was ringing 31, 32, shallow, still ringing real high, coil a foot off the ground. And, normally we'd think like, okay, it's going to be a trash can or a can lid or something along those lines, but there's no trash in these fields. It's amazing. Like we're like tons of bullets, but no trash. So I'm like, I got to dig this, find out what it is. I dig it, and it's a trigger guard.
Wow.
And it's stamped, so we know who the maker was. So it's pretty awesome. So we were really excited about that too. So we know we're on a good spot, and we're having a lot of fun there. The property owners are fantastic. It's very close to my house. I mean, the area that I detect in, and you've been to our events, so you know what's going on around here and what kind of stuff can be found.
Oh yeah,
so.
trust me. When I'm driving out there and driving back, I'm scoping.
It's head on a swivel everywhere, right? There's always something to see.
Ooh, I would dig there. Ooh, I would dig there. Ooh, maybe I'll drive back here one day and go to this house.
You're gonna have bloody knuckles by the end of the day with all the door knocking.
Yeah, it's a nice area. It's really pretty too.
Yeah.
It's nice to drive through there, and a lot of old structures for sure. I mean, we still got some old stuff here in Jersey, but it's getting harder and harder to find them.
Yeah, plenty of old stuff, right? It's really interesting. I think where the hobby's going and the number of people that are involved, and I guess the growth is good for the hobby, but for people like you who are seasoned, I mean, I've been doing it for a long time, but not as actively as you. And, I would imagine there's a little bit of like, it's a crowded space now, right?
A little bit. Hey, Drew's here. Hey, naughty dog. NorCal Digger. Yeah, I want Chris Golding, Nugget Prospecting. How are you doing? I was hoping a few people that entered the raffle would show up. Um, I'm pretty sure Drew entered. I know Team Lynch did. I know I did.
You did, Team Lynch did, Dave Hart did, Drew did. I'm trying to think. There was a bunch of people, and like a lot of other things would come out swinging. The support from the community is always great, but it seems like it gets bigger every time, right? So like, you know, I think last year when we raffled off the banner, we had 40 some entries. This time I think we were closer to 70 entries. So,
Oh, that's
you
good.
know,
Yeah, I know. I
yeah,
only bought
yeah,
like 5 entries, I think.
yeah, it's awesome. Hey, look,
Yeah.
it's all for a good cause, right? So somebody's gonna, get the banner, we'll ship it out to them, we'll take care of the shipping costs, but every penny of what's left over goes right to the historical society,
No, yeah,
for
that's awesome.
yeah, yeah. So it's
Well,
great.
speaking of historical societies, um, the Middletown Historical Society where I live is going to be doing I'm going to be guesting one night. I don't
Oh,
know when yet,
nice.
but
Okay.
they're adding me to the calendar because I did an open mic night, sort of open mic, I guess you would call it, a couple few years ago before COVID-19, and it was a last minute thing. Like I just happened to notice on the flyer that it was if you want to come up and talk kind of night. And I didn't have anything ready or anything. I just had some photos on the laptop, and that was about it. I didn't have anything written that I wanted to talk about. Nothing. I just went in there off the cuff, and I talked about metal detecting, but not focusing on the hobby so much as to why, more than this is how you do it. You know,
Okay.
um, my interest in history and what it's like to dig this stuff up and try to save it and salvage it. And even though some of it looks, like a trigger guard would look like trash to somebody, but it's actually an historical artifact, you know.
Yeah.
And with the constant building all over, and I know it's going on out there too, we're losing all this history that's in the earth. Now, maybe some makes it to a museum and some makes it to your own casing at home, but it's displayed in some manner, and then treated and kept preserved. And so I was talking about stuff like that and showing pictures of things I had found, and nobody got up to look at my tiny little laptop. They were all older, and they were all sitting in the audience, and just hey, Patty Disharoon, just so I wasn't even sure they could see the monitor, and not a peep, nothing the whole time, and I talked for about 10 minutes, and then I was like, any questions? And every hand shot up. They were all interested in it.
How about that?
So, hey, Gene. So I figured, I told him this was all before COVID-19 shutdowns. I was like, hey, I would like to do an actual whole speech about it, you know, about the hobby itself, but also why most detectorists metal detect. Because we all, there's subcategories in that. You got the coin shooters, you got the beach hunters, you got the relic hunters, so there's different branches of that hobby. But why do we do it? And what kind of history are we looking for? Or do we find history? And I belonged to a group one time that actually changed the battle of Monmouth, where they thought they were located by the things the group had found.
Okay.
So what we were taught in school was actually changed by what they had found and where the positions were at.
Oh,
Clark
wow, that's
Stewart
awesome.
said they detect for fame. I thought you
Yeah.
YouTube for fame. But so yeah, so I'll be doing a discussion on it. So this time I'll be prepared. I'll have my little index cards for, what I want to talk about and the objects and stuff like that. But it's neat. I'm glad there is the town has a historical society because there's a lot of building going on in this town.
Yeah. Yeah, the
So
societies are great, the museums are great, but like thinking about what you said a little bit earlier, when we find things and we share them in this virtual space, whether it's, in a live stream or on your Facebook page or on your YouTube channel, I almost think like sometimes that stuff gets more exposure than it would if it wasn't a museum,
yeah,
because like, sometimes things go to museums and they don't even wind up on the shelf. They don't wind up on display. They wind up in a box in a basement somewhere. Whereas,
exactly.
I found my trigger guard. I put it on Facebook, and within an hour, 75 people had liked it. So it's like I know at least 75 people saw it. So
Yeah, that is true. A lot of the stuff will make it to the basement, and then most of the people that go through museums now are kids on a school trip. I still go to, like, I like to go to the preserved homes that you can walk through when they're open and stuff like that.
right, yeah,
I see a lot less people than I did even 15 years ago, 20 years ago. So, but I think the interest has picked up a little bit since the lockdowns and things like that. I see more people out. Patrick said he's done presentations, has another one coming up soon. You get great questions, lots of interest, and permissions. That's what I'm
yeah.
most looking
Permissions are always nice. Well, that's how we
for.
started Come Out Swinging, right? Yeah, we did a presentation for the Historical Society, and then from that is where
Which
it
is right there.
Come Out Swinging came from. Yeah.
And it's an awesome event. So if any of you ever in the Pennsylvania area, twice a year, man, you need to go. It's small. It's not dig stock, by any means,
It's not
but
dig stock. It is.
it's small. It's a good area that it's in. You know, did I find anything? I don't think I found. I don't think I found anything, but it wasn't for because I.
Wasn't
It
for
was
lack
for
of trying.
no, it was lack of swinging because as you know, I wasn't even out in the field that much. So
You talk a little bit. You are you're a social butterfly. You have
yeah,
a tendency to mull around and hang out by the tent and see what's coming in and who's coming in, and that's okay
yeah.
though. Everybody comes for different reasons. That's a different kind of treasure, right?
Expressions of the outdoors, the gologist. Yeah, I go to the events. I mean, I like finding things, don't get me wrong. Uh I know some people look to see if they can get their money back, especially in the seated events. More than like you're not going to. The natural hunts, it's a new place to hunt. Like I said, it's just my lack of swinging because there were some pretty nice things found.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
One I apparently walked away from. Joe said he was 2 seconds after I walked away from him, he swung over that. So, you know, I didn't swing over it. I walked away from that area and Joe happened to swing over it and found, what was it, Barber Half.
Yeah, Barber Half. Yeah,
So,
yeah. There was a couple of. I mean that the seated dime or the braided hair. What was the dime that Brian found? I forget.
I don't remember. I know Deej found a couple really nice things. So there was a lot of things found. So,
Yeah,
and it was a good time. But these events, most of it's the social aspect, especially for me. Drew said a drape bust.
the drape bust. That's what it was. Thank you, Drew. Yeah, that was. I mean, I saw that. That was pretty crazy. Yeah, so it was a drape bust half. No, what was Drew? Was it? What wasn't it a dime? Is he in the chat? I guess he's in the chat. I don't see the chat. I thought
Yeah,
it was
he's in the
a.
chat.
I thought it was some kind of a dime. I mean, I see so much stuff. It's hard for me to remember. But yeah, Creek Geeks definitely got it on his page. I'm kind of like looking over at it, and I can see it, but I can't read it. But yeah, good stuff. Lots of a bunch of large scents. It was crazy as people dial in the areas, right? So they start figuring out what's hot. So they figured out where the old church was, and then they,
Yeah,
I guess, figured out where they would park the buggies along the two adjoining roads. And unfortunately, we had cars parked in a lot of that space for the better part of both days, because of the rain. And then when the cars cleared out, some of the guys and gals hung around on Sunday afternoon and were just like walking along the roads, and they were pulling more stuff out, as they were detecting late into the afternoon. So
yeah. I left
never.
pretty. I think I left at like 1 or 2 o'clock. 1 o'clock, I think.
I think you had a puppy to get home to, didn't you, or something?
Yeah, yeah. Hey, Ed, flash in your pan. Yeah. Normally I would have stayed later, as you know. But yeah, I headed out. I think around 1 o'clock. I know a big chunk of people headed out right at lunchtime.
Yeah, yeah. This one, what was unique about this one was because of where it was, like right on that main road on that intersection.
Yeah. Oh, I just took you down. Sorry.
That's all right. Yeah, we had a lot of people who were just driving by who would stop in, and we actually picked up a little members. And a guy who stopped by on Saturday came back on Sunday. Um, paid for the event, detected, and had somebody had given him a metal detector as a gift. Actually, gave him a Knox 800. He had no idea how to use it, no idea really what it was. So he came on Sunday after stopping by on Saturday, brought the machine back on Sunday, bought a pinpointer, and I think in a digger from Drew, and then went through the test garden. One of the members gave him a tutorial on the Knox, and then he went out in the field and detected. And
Oh yeah, he was an older
ran.
gentleman, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it turns out he was the father of one of my kids' teachers. And I ran into the guy at an event at the school recently, and he's like, my dad had the time of his life. He just was absolutely beside himself, excited, and can't wait to do it again. So, that's what it's all about for us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I saw Drew talking to him, and he spent a good chunk of time with the guy and made it. The guy left happy, and that's the whole point.
Yeah, yeah. I think all in all, we had some crappy weather, but everything considered, I think it was another successful come out swinging. So
Yeah, I think it
thank you
was
to
too.
thank you to everybody who came.
Yeah, I think most of the people did show up, even with the rain. I think we all know we're not that sweet. We're not going to melt.
Nobody's gonna melt. Nobody's gonna melt.
And it wasn't freezing, so it was just wet and
I
miserable.
I did enjoy myself, like seeing everybody with their rain gear, and whose rain gear quit on their rain gear. Like some people had good rain gear and they were staying dry. They just couldn't fight the weather, and then other people had crappy rain gear and the rain gear quit on them, and they wound up being soaked by the end of the day. But they didn't want to give up, so
No.
it was a pretty interesting dynamic.
Let's see what's going on in the chat. Not so much. There's a lot of people saying hi to each other. Hey, Ohio Metal Maven. I said hi already in the chat, but Mud Swat. Mud Swat's hungry. He's used to us talking about food. But tonight, we're not talking about food.
We can talk about the hoagies, like
Oh,
that
the
we had
hoagies are good,
available. The
except for
hoagies.
I didn't say anything on Sunday, but when I ordered just a ham and cheese, a plain ham and cheese, nothing on it. No dressing, no mayonnaise, no nothing. And it had mayonnaise on it.
Oh no.
Because Deej had mustard, so I was going to use some because I like yellow mustard. I don't like brown mustard. And I went to go put it on, and it was slathered in mayonnaise. And I was like, well, guess I'm eating ham and cheese with mayonnaise.
Ham and cheese with mayo. Suffer
But yeah,
through.
they were good though. They were good sandwiches.
They were proper hoagies. They were good on good Philly Italian rolls.
Yeah, they were very good. And the cookies, those big cookies, were good. And then
It's always
I actually have it right here. Hang on. I always go home with my Milanos.
well. I was gonna say, Dave and Sharon, if you love anything Pepperidge Farm, like we should probably call the event the Pepperidge Farm Come Out Swinging, invitational or something, because I think we have like 10,000 bags of goldfish, and everybody can go home with at least 2 or 3 packs of Milanos. So
Yeah. I I was teasing when I grabbed it, but they were like, "Yeah, go ahead." I was like, "Okay, I'll take it then." But
yeah.
yeah, no, those are my favorite cookies because they're dark chocolate. And I won the bigger Pepperidge Farm
Oh, you
basket.
won the
Yeah, Biddy
basket.
won the
Okay.
small one, and I won the big one. And I think I gave away the box of crackers, the little bags of crackers. Just walked around with it and let people pick bags of crackers out. They all like the pizza one, just to let them know ahead of time.
The
The
pizza
pizza
flavored
ones
fish.
went first.
Yeah. Yeah, I
But
like the dark orange Milanos. Those are my favorite.
oh, those are good too. But yeah,
Those are good.
I work on them all the way up till October when I get a new box.
Pace yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, okay, I think there's 12 packs in there, so 2 a month. I think
There
there's
you
12.
go. That's discipline right there, because I'll eat my lunch and I'll have like 2 packs with lunch.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the one in October. So,
Yeah, we're
November.
November. Yeah, first weekend in
Yeah.
November. Yeah, we're working on sites for that now. We're working on sites for the next club hunt. hopefully we'll have all that organized so we can get something done before the end of May. It's getting close. We're trying to dial in the details on that. It may be early June instead. But in any event, we'll have at least one like early summer club hunt, and then one late summer, early fall club hunt, and then the next come out swinging event.
Yeah, I still haven't joined the club. I might one of these days.
Yeah, I mean, look, the club hunts are nice. It's a trip for you, right? Like, I know
2
there's a
hours.
couple other people. Yeah, a couple other people
But
have come down.
I drive 4 hours to detect with stories from the signal.
Okay, so yeah,
And I drive 8 hours to detect with flash in your pan.
That's commitment.
And one of these days
Yes.
I'll do the 6 hours to detect with Mark the Berg. Hey, the
There
bud
you go.
So yeah, he made it out there this spring.
He made it out there with his daughter. We were glad to see him.
Yeah, that was awesome. They had a good
Yeah.
time. And I'll be going out in June to Ohio, actually.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
Mind Lab is dropping 2 more machines. Drew said don't matter, they'll be on back order for 8 years anyway.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say, how's that even possible? What two new machines are they dropping?
I don't know. Manicore Junior or Manicore Senior. I mean, I don't know what else is out there. But I'm not that interested in a new Mind Lab. I'm happy with the 800. I
love my 800.
Yeah, I looked at the 7 and 900. I really didn't see any reason if I still had the 600 to go to the 7, and I didn't see any reason to go to the 9. Not enough reason to get another machine. The Manicore, that's impressive. I like the weight. Drew let me play with it at my club meeting. I haven't, swung it detecting. Eventually, when I make my way out to Drew and he actually gets a day off, I'll play with it a little bit. But that one had enough justification if I was going to upgrade. But I'm still waiting to see what Garrett puts out.
Yeah, hey, I would be. Have they made any kind of announcements about new technology? Because I mean, the last technology they made was what, a pulse induction machine, and that was,
Well, no, the last one was the Apex, the Ace Apex.
No, I thought they released a machine late last year.
Oh, they did the Axiom. The Axiom.
Yeah.
I mean, in their regular line.
In their regular line.
Pretty much don't. A lot of us don't live where there's gold, and we would need the Axiom.
Right.
But I'm pretty sure they're going to come out with an AT series Apex type of deal.
Yeah, I would imagine they have to.
They kind of do have to at this point.
I mean, that AT machine is a solid machine that they just,
Their AT Pro is still their best seller. Yeah. But they kind of have to answer the call that Mind Lab and Nokta have put out.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. You got to respond to the market, right? And they're losing market share because
pretty much when they put out a machine, you're not going to need to update it. I never had to do an update on the AT Pro, and I don't think the people with the Maxes had to do updates. I know they had one update for the Apex right after it came out, but it I kind of think it's going to be in the AT series when they put out a new machine.
Yeah, with a more digital interface, I think they have to almost do that.
They got to make that thing lighter.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
It's heavy, but I wouldn't doubt because the Apex is rechargeable, so I'm pretty sure the AT series, if they put out one with that, it'll be rechargeable, which is what people are telling them. They're listening. Companies aren't dumb. They just may not have a product out yet, but that doesn't mean they're not working on it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So sometimes, you see this with some of the other manufacturers. It's like you can wait for perfection, but you may miss the mark, right? You just delay and delay and delay. Sooner or later, sometimes it's better to get a product on the market, and especially with the way the technology is, like you said, like if it's something that you can upgrade and do software patches and things like that now with the internet and the way the machines connect, like it just kind of makes sense. I think somebody just told me like their Deus 2 is finally getting like its first full like revision. I don't know enough about the Deus, but like the first full revision since the product launch or something like that. A lot of the software, the machines that came out were like almost in beta mode. I didn't realize that. Somebody's in
Yeah,
the chat and I'm wrong. Feel free to correct me, but I may have misunderstood.
I don't understand. I wouldn't want to put out a product that I would have to do an update on right away or within 6 months. I would want to have my product go out because I've listened to the customers ahead of time.
Yeah, I remember when I when I got back into detecting, and I bought the Simplex just because I was, looking for something that was waterproof at the right price point at the time, and just to kind of whet my appetite. And I remember I had that for about 3 months, and I had an update, and then another update came out, and then I was reading on the forums, and people were saying like, "Don't do the latest update because it does this and it does that." So I think it's kind of give and take with updates. Sometimes I think you gain and you can potentially lose. The goal may be to make the machine more stable or better, but I think sometimes.
Well, I think the first update was to put the mute on there because there was a lot of interference with pinpointers. So you can mute your machine when you use your pinpointer so you wouldn't hear the chatter. The problem with me was I would forget to turn the mute off.
Oh,
I'd be swinging away for half an hour.
man, it's quiet out here.
I could have sworn it was at least iron. I mean, it was a good feature, but I just didn't think, because I'm not used to, turning the mute on, using my pinpointer, turning the mute off. It's not something I was used to doing, so I
Well,
would forget to do it a lot.
on my old mine lab, I had the Sunray Probe inline pinpointer, and I would often put it back in its holster and forget to flip the switch back to the detecting mode, and I would just be like, walking along, and you would occasionally hear a beep or a blip, but it was coming from the pinpointer, not from the coil, and so you thought you were detecting, and you actually weren't. You were, detecting your belt or your pouch, like, which is slightly frustrating, but that's user error.
Yeah. I'm looking at the chat. They're talking about Nocta listens. But see, the thing is, I like Nocta. I'm not trying to diss the company, but they put out the Simplex and they put out the Legend, and I mean there was literally like 3 upgrades on the Simplex, and because they were listening to us, the complaints we had. The first one was because the pinpointer would interfere, and but this is things like they had testers testing these units before they put them on the market. That was the point of the testers. So
Right. Yeah.
these are things that should have been cleared up before they put them out on the market. Maybe an upgrade, hey, look, we just figured out something we could have done 6 months ago. Here's an upgrade. It's going to make the machine perform better. That's one thing, but to fix a bug, I wasn't pleased with that aspect. Yes, they do listen to their customers, but it's after the product's already out, and these are things that should have been addressed when they were in the test phase.
Yeah, I think it's hard to get everything right when you go to market. You wish you could, but I think there's always going to be a ghost in the system that needs to be found or fixed or replaced. I'm lucky though because I'm not a brand loyalist, right? Like I own a Nocta, I own 2 mine labs, and I just bought an AT Max. So I think putting it, give me a 10 by 10 area, and I'll run all 3 detectors across it until I find everything that's in the ground, and each one's gonna sniff out something a little different. So,
no, I get it, Team Rich. They said some of their updates had problems, but they also upgrade instead of selling a new machine or ignoring the problem. No, I get that, but these are things that should have been addressed pre-launch. Like I said, it's different when they're like, hey, we just discovered something we could have done with the Legend, but we only just now discovered this feature that could have been added to it. Here's an upgrade so you can have it. That's one thing, but we put this machine out, we rushed it out, and apparently there's a bug. That's what the whole test phase is. But this is coming from I used to be a hardcore gamer, so I used to buy console machines. And I learned the very first launch of a console to not buy it right at launch because they rush it for a certain season or the demand. and
Right.
not all the bugs are taken care of. So I always buy it second gen
Second gen, yeah.
because all the 90% of the issues have been noticed in that first year and addressed. So when they put out the new machines, it's all already good. I don't need to download an upgrade to my Xbox because I bought a second generation one and it's already got the bugs taken care of before it was put to sale.
Yeah, I think though, a lot of good product development comes from, I guess, what you would call field testing, actual user experience, right? And getting that feedback as opposed to just being like, hey, our R&D department came up with the concept, we gave it to our engineers, they built it, we tried it out, the software works great, and then we gave it to a couple of people to use, right? Because everybody's user experience is going to be different. If I can get in 1,000 people's hands and then have them real life field test it for me and then give me feedback and then I can improve. I think that really like speaks to the like maybe next generation of product development. People are willing to accept something that's stable and good that can be improved upon as opposed to waiting for something that's perfect because it's almost impossible to achieve perfection
Oh
in
yeah, I'm not saying the
technology.
machine has to be perfect, but they did have field testers with the Simplex with the Legend before they came out. Top secret, like people would announce, "I'm testing this with this.
Right.
I can't tell you about it." So that's what I'm saying. Like they did have field testers. So these are issues that should have been addressed at the time. So I don't
Yeah, but
know.
I
When
think to
you tell
that,
many
like that was
people
the
we
point I
did
was
do
making.
field
Like,
testing, huh?
but I think if you, I don't know the people that they put them in the hands of, but generally it's, I would imagine it's more experienced users. You put a machine like that in a novice user's hands, and that's when you really start to find out what's wrong with something. What are they struggling with? What's not working? What doesn't make sense to them? Right?
Yeah.
Because if you're caught, like think about yourself. Like when you pick up a new machine, like when I picked up that AT Max for the first time, I was like, "What in the world is like going on here?" Like, um, and even like when I picked up the Simplex for the first time, it was very simplistic, graphical user interface, easy to navigate through, but it's different sounds, um, you know. So I don't know. We'll see. I guess again, it's a matter of like you said. Sometimes it's best to wait if you can be patient and get second gen. Um, but some people have to. It's like when the new iPhone comes out. That's why there's a
Well,
line
yeah,
around the
no, they
store.
line up for it. Like I
that's
learned.
that's why that's
Okay.
why when you see, hey, I got 5 Manticores in stock, boom, gone.
Yeah, I don't
you
need
know,
one right now. I mean, I'm good with my Knox 800 and my AT Pro, and even my Knox 800. I mean, I got a lot of hours on it, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert at it. I'm still just I hear a tone, I dig it. I don't. I'm the VDI and me. We just don't get along. I know a 16's a pull tab. That's all I know.
well, that's why we have Game of Tones for all
That's
these
why I lost the first year.
experts.
I used my AT. I used the Knox the first time. I used my AT Pro the last time.
See, there you
Yeah.
go.
But I
That's
feel I
that's
got
a
more right than what you told me. But
that is a frustrating exercise for even the most seasoned of detectivists. Game of Tones. That's why we didn't do it this year. Too many people get frustrated.
I didn't care. It was fun.
Well, did you do the relic relay this year?
Yeah, I
Were
did.
you on? Right. So even
Yeah, I
that,
said I went for the penny,
yeah.
and I
So
used
like
my
there you
AT
go.
Pro, so I was just looking
You
for
like
81.
there you go. You know what a penny is on your machine.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
was like, when you were saying the other things in there, I was like, I don't
I
know. I don't really dig those
I
pennies.
don't know. I don't know if I what, three ringer. What's that ring up as?
I think it's 65. I don't even know. I
Yeah.
don't get many three ringers here.
And then Dave from PA Relics, he lost his mind. I was like, yeah, so there's flat button. I said there's the Tomback buttons out there. He just misspoke. And he's like, oh, I do Tomback button all day. That's a this. And I was like, okay. He's going, and he's like looking, and he can't. And then he finally digs a target. He finds a button. He goes, you said Tomback. This is not a Tomback. It's just a flat button. I was like, oh, okay, my bad.
Poor Dave.
Poor Dave. But that was fun, right? That was a great competition. Came down to the last team, winning by like less than a second or something, like a second or something
Yeah,
ridiculous.
I don't know where we were at. I don't.
Yeah.
We were 6, 8 minutes, something. I don't know.
I think that'll be a regular part of Come Out Swinging moving forward.
What,
The
the
relic
relay?
yeah, the relic relay.
That was fun. That was fun.
Yeah,
I do like Game of Tones too, though. But
yeah. Well, we can do both.
I mean, if people are getting frustrated, I don't want them getting upset, you know. But
Well, I like
I thought
watching
it was
people get
fun.
frustrated.
You know, it was free to enter. You know,
Yeah, it's free, and if you win, you get a nice big hunk of silver. Like nothing wrong with that, right?
yeah. Hey, Tri Valley. Yeah, I got my big chunk of silver, and then I gave it away on the live stream. I don't even remember who won it. That was a while ago.
That's the good stuff, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think I did it. I don't know. I think I did it around Christmas time. I don't remember now. I have to look back at my
Speaking,
live streams.
yeah. So speaking of giving the stuff away, right? So obviously tonight we're giving away the banner and the raffle.
Yeah, I think we got
Um,
enough of an audience. I mean, we got anybody that's
we
not
can do it
here.
whenever you're ready,
Yeah,
But like,
anybody that's
you
not
know,
here, they'll find out on the page anyway.
but did I think you and I probably talked about it because you're one of the people who have always supported it. Like we did we didn't do the kids hunt at Come Out Swinging this year, but we did it at Earth Day,
Yeah.
and we did over 100 kids. Now remember, the last fall, we did Come Out Swinging. We do the kids in the afternoon from 12 to 4 on Saturday, and then from 11 to 1 on Sunday. So
Yeah.
that's what is that? 7 hours. Last fall we did 80. We had 80 kids come for the kids hunt, right? At Earth Day, me, Corey, Nathan, Dennis, and Christy Wissinger, right? We were kind of rotating through. Over 100 kids came through between 11 and 2.
That's a lot of kids.
Yeah,
That's good
yeah,
though.
it was great. It was like nonstop. So it was funny because like we saw the lady who organized the whole thing, and she said, "How'd you guys do?" And I said, "Oh, it was great. It was busy the whole day. We loved it. You know, a lot of kids came through." And she said, "Yeah, the pony rides had 70 kids." And I said, "Look, this just speaks to how much this hobby has grown. We're better than pony rides. We had over 100 kids come through."
That's crazy. Yeah, I've been like trying to organize all my pennies and odd coins and stuff like that for you because I don't really think they care too much what they're finding because these days kids don't know what the coins are anyway.
But
Pretty much.
they just get so excited, whether it's like a foreign coin or what was really interesting is so we had a lot of people who donated stuff, and I know I'm gonna forget names, but we had like the guys from PA Relic Hunters. They donated a metal detecting package, right?
Oh, yeah.
Dave and Sharon Hart donated a metal detecting package. Mark the Bird Hunter donated a mini horde. Chad Roger donated, I think, like $30 worth of Eisenhower dollars. I donated like, 30 or $50 worth of halves and gold dollars, right? Like we just had all this stuff in the ground, and these kids were just like losing their minds. They think a dollar coin, they have no idea what that is. They like, even though it's like modern currency, they don't see it. You
No,
know what I
no, that's what
mean?
I'm saying. It wouldn't matter.
They dig up an Eisenhower and it just blows their mind. This big, honking thing comes out of the ground, and they're holding it up. They're running around. They're showing everybody. We had kids digging the Indian head pennies, and everybody making a big deal out of it. So like, yeah, that was, uh, you know, Corey, Nathan, and Dennis and Chrissy Wissinger. I'm sure they all went home, took hot baths and a couple of the leaves, and slept for like 2 days. It was.
Probably. That's a lot of kids. I know what it's like. Uh, what did Team Lynch say? But at least we
Oh,
got.
and Drew, right? Drew's in the chat. Drew donated like, I don't know, 20 pounds of coins. Drew, like, give a thumbs up in the chat or something. Like, you know, he threw a lot of coins our way, which
Yeah,
just makes
Drew's
it that
doing
much
his
better. But we just like
Drew's,
pounded the ground like coin. You couldn't walk 3 feet without like beep. It was like a Geiger counter going off. These kids were just having a great time.
hey, Martin Smith, Jim Steele, Metal Detective North Carolina, Tri Valley. Just want to say hi to these guys real quick. Hey,
Yeah,
cuz,
yeah.
If I missed anybody, sorry. But I know they're there. But yeah, we could do that giveaway because, like I said, anybody that's not here right now that entered, we'll find out.
Yeah,
Anyway.
yeah, we'll message them. But hey, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be on the show tonight and do this. And look, it's not anything high tech. I'm gonna do it on my phone. We're gonna spin the wheel. I got everybody's names in here. We're gonna shuffle them up, and we'll give it like 5 shuffles so that it's completely randomized, and then we'll do a 7 times spin, so it spins nice and long. So you tell me, um, Rachel, when you're ready.
Like,
How do you want me to do it?
I'm gonna
So
lay,
you probably won't be. Yeah, you probably won't be able to see the wheel because it's going to white out. But you'll be able to see the name, right? Because you can see the word "spin the wheel" at the top, but you just can't see the names on the wheel. So when I spin it, you'll be able to see the name when it comes up.
Yeah.
All right. So I'll do it right now. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. Here we go. Like that. Oh, it's going round and round and round and round and round and round and round. Oh, it's slowing down. Is that Donna Funk? It is Donna Funk.
Donna Funk.
Donna
I
Funk.
don't know if she's lurking or not tonight.
I don't know.
I know she
Donna or
knew
Bob
about
are-
it.
That's excellent. Yeah. So one of the things that we did this year, the guys from PA Relic. So congratulations, Donna. Congratulations, and thank you to everybody who entered. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The guys who won the guy who won the banner last year, Dave from PA Relic, he brought the banner back. He won the spring banner. He brought it to the fall, or no, he won the fall banner, brought it to the spring event, and had everyone sign it.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping Donna, because Donna and Bob come to all of our events, I'm hoping Donna brings the banner in the fall, and we can have everybody sign it. We'll give it back to her, and she can share that with her club and her group. But this time we're gonna have.
Be very happy.
Yeah, we're gonna have everybody sign it in advance at the event this year. So a signing table, so everybody who comes to come out swinging in the fall will sign the banner, and then when we raffle it, it'll be signed by everybody who was in attendance. So
yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I thought that was a great idea. I love that they did that and they brought the banner back. And again, it just means a lot to us that people who continue to support the Come Out Swinging event, even though it's been over, right? It's a month now that the event's been over, and here we are doing a banner raffle. And we 2 weeks after the event, we had people who were donating to the Relic Recovery Club's Kid Coin Hunt and Earth Day. So
well, that just tells you how like I said, it's a small event. It's not massive. I mean, it was good attendance in the spring, even with the bad weather. But it's one of those events that makes a mark.
Yeah, somebody told me at the event, it may have been you, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but they said it feels like a family reunion every year. Like a lot of the same people coming back, and then like maybe a couple new people, right? Some people get married, they bring their new spouses to the family reunion. Yeah. So they said it really does. It feels like a family reunion. It's very close knit core group, and then some new people come every year and get introduced, and then some people we haven't seen in a while, maybe 1 or 2 events ago, they didn't get to make the last 2, and now they're back. So it's very comfortable. Everybody, is always welcome. We have a great group of people who come to the event. It's very funny, very family oriented type of event.
No, it's definitely one of the ones I truly enjoy. I mean, I like the bigger ones too. I see a lot more people, which is I know nobody. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 people in the chat actually know I have actual social anxiety, but I do look forward to these. My brain mentally prepares for a large number of people, especially the bigger events. But I do have to sometimes like wander off, like
get a little breather,
get a little air, yeah, because too many people around me. But I mean, I've been to them all sizes, and one of my favorites definitely is the Come Out Swinging.
Oh, we appreciate that. It's very nice of you to say. Sorry about that.
I know you don't. Hey, Mike.
We love having you there. You're like you're one of the regulars.
Yeah, it's one of my, like I said, it's one of my favorites. Because I've been to all but one of the dig stock events, and I won't be at the one in California either. That's too far away.
And you've always
And
been very supportive. I mean, you've been a sponsor for
yeah,
our events, right? And you've helped with the kids stuff and made donations to the kids hunt. And again, you come. How many times have you come down to come out swinging? How many events have you attended?
I think everyone but your first.
Everyone but the first one. Okay, yeah, that's
Yeah, because
impressive.
your first one was the fall before, right?
The first one was the fall of 2020. Yeah, it was the COVID compliant event.
Yeah, so I don't remember which one. I think I came. Was it the spring one?
It probably would have been the first one that you were at was probably the spring of 2021.
2021 or fall of 2021? I don't know. I know a few.
A few, yeah.
But
But
yeah,
like I
I'll be
said,
back
like
on the road.
you're one of those people who've been coming for a while, and we really appreciate that continued level of
Oh,
support. And I know through your, what you're doing right now, you've introduced new people to come out swinging. I don't know if it was you who introduced Mark to our event, but Mark comes now, and Gary Garvine has come to the event. So I know those are people who I see in your chats every once in a while. So
yeah.
we appreciate what you're doing here, and when you talk about the
Mike,
event.
great finds. I don't know if Patrick came this time or not. Did he? Did you come, Patrick? I don't know. I've been to so many events now. Everybody.
Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, no, Patrick. I think Patrick did come. I don't remember, but I know Mike came because I was with Mike in the field all the way. I think there was field number 4, the really tiny field.
Right.
We were both way out there, and oh, Patrick's been to 2. Yeah, I don't think he came to this past one. See, I see Patrick so much at events now. I just saw him at
Right,
Dick
right.
Talk, so like it all merges for me. Hey Tom Kingery. Um, yeah, there's I'm sure a few more people from the chat may come to one day. I mean, the people in the chat are all over. Patty's in Texas. Hot Mess is a little northwest. Um, well, we all know where Drew's at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
so
think
we have people all over. Digologist is a bit of a ways, but as you already know, you had one come from Texas and Michigan,
we did.
um,
Yeah.
in the spring. That was Deej and Kay. Um,
Which is just
Pittsburgh.
mind blowing to us. Like the first event, we had somebody from Texas, somebody from Utah. We were we were impressed when we saw people registering from Connecticut. We were like, wow, people are coming from Connecticut. Like this is fantastic. And then all of a sudden, it was like we had some register from Texas. I think I came up
And
for
it
the
just
3-day weekend from Texas, and we were like, wow.
and,
I feel
and
like
it just shows
I feel like I
you
should be
know
giving out an award for the person who traveled the farthest. Like,
it just shows you how how good your event is, because not everybody is finding phenomenal finds. Like I said, I wasn't, but that's my own fault. But
right,
not everybody is out there digging up reals or digging up seated dimes, seated quarters, barber halves. Not everybody did, but nobody left disappointed,
right, right.
and because they were there because it's just the way the event makes you feel.
Yeah, and that goes back to that whole kind of family reunion thing. And I think the other thing, and I always welcome feedback from anybody, but I think what we try to do is be as honest as possible when we're talking about where the event's going to be and what expectations from the attendee should be. Like,
It's a
it's a natural
natural art.
hunt.
That's
It's
I did a
100%
big
natural. I can't promise
yeah,
you anything. You may come and find nothing, and you may come and find 3 bucket list items. I don't know because we don't detect the site, and we talk to the owners, and as far as we know, it hasn't been detected. And if it has, we're unaware, right? If we were aware, we would let everybody know, hey, this has been detected before. But our effort, what we look for is a natural hunt site that, to the best of the current owner's knowledge, has never been detected, and that's what we offer.
yeah. That's right after Digstock, I did a live stream about people's expectations at events, even big ones like that or small club hunts. What are your expectations? I mean, what do you build up in your head? Most of the Discord I saw was because people were disappointed they didn't find all these phenomenal things.
Yeah, yeah,
So I was like, well, you disappointed yourself because they never promised everybody's going to find a bucket lister. That no event ever promised that, especially natural hunt events. They can't promise you that. They can
Yeah,
promise
if
you
they
that if
are,
it's a
something's up.
natural hunt, you may or may not find things. It's just like you see a nice field and you go knock on the door and you get permission for that field. You have no guarantee you're going to find things in that field. You might or you might not. But
Yeah,
you
I've
guys
always
also add some games and you add a seated portion to it, and that should, compensate people enough. Like that, like, oh, hey, this was pretty cool. I got some, at least I go home with some silver dimes and a silver quarter, or I found a silver dollar in the seated hunt, whatever it is, but I don't go to a natural hunt event expecting to find a bucket lister or a half real or my white whale, a Jersey copper. I'm not going there expecting to find that. I don't expect to. I'd like to, but I don't
right.
expect to. And then knowing me and the fact that I'll go out there swinging for a while, and then my ADD gets better with me, and I got to go run my mouth somewhere. So I know I'm not finding anything awesome, but I know
Yeah, and
that there were really nice
that's
things.
always been me. My thing has always been like, with running the events and putting the events together, and like for the last, not this year so much because I said I've been getting out. Like, but previous years, I would spend more time looking for sites for the club to go to and for us to all come out swinging. And then once I found them, like just kind of putting them off to the side, and then not really spending a lot of time detecting myself. And then like I'm the exact opposite of you. It'd be like when I got a chance to go detecting, somebody would invite me like, "Hey, you want to come detecting?" And I'd be like, "Yeah," but then I would feel like I was being antisocial because all I wanted to do when I was there was detect, and they
Yeah.
would be like, they wanted to like stand around and talk and shoot video, and I just want to detect. Like
Oh no, on
I
a
don't have a
collab,
lot. I don't get out a lot. All I want to do is detect.
I'm there to detect. Let's chit chat at the car, head out. You find something good, wave at me, I'll come at you. But no, when somebody invites, like when Mike invites me and it's me, Mike, and Patrick or whomever, yeah, we'll talk for a few minutes when we get to the field, and then off we go. You know, but at an event, I'm just like, because there's so many people I don't get to see on the regular, you know, or there's people also wanting to talk to me, surprisingly. But yeah, so I end up not swinging all that often, and it's my own fault, But I think at Dig Stock I did swing quite a bit, but at your event I really don't.
Yeah, at the past come out swinging, I got to detect. I think for Drew was laughing at me about 10 minutes on Sunday at around 2:15. I had got the machine out, got the coil out, put a small coil on, went into the wooded area a little bit, and that was about it. And then somebody called me, and I was giving directions to somebody to get back to the turnpike, and then that was about the end of that. So. And then I start talking, right? So I do that. I'm a talker. I can talk.
Yeah, yeah, too.
That's okay. I don't expect when I'm running the event. I don't expect to detect. I'm there to run the event. That's my job for the weekend.
Well, like I always tell you, whenever I go there, any help you need, I'm always around the tent somewhere because I don't go out in the
You're
field
all,
all that much.
you are always ready and available to lend a hand, and we definitely appreciate that.
Oh yeah. Nicole scrapped all her iron, made about $40. The iron's real big. I'm sorry. I do put it by a tree when I'm out in the woods. I can only carry so much, and I walk real far.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Yeah. The yeah. I will. I'll put a marker in the field, like jam a stick in the dirt, and then put my big stuff around that to go back and collect it. Because yeah, you can only carry so much weight with you.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you're like in a spot might have big pieces of bean pot or something like that, or huge spikes. I mean, you can't carry all that out at one time. So yeah, I go to the base of a tree. I make sure there's no signals there, and then I put the iron there.
Yeah, if you ever detected with Nathan from the club, Nathan Babb, we call him the Iron Giant. That guy has a propensity for finding large iron everywhere he goes.
I
So
don't find much because I definitely don't dig those signals unless I have no choice.
his thing is and he's a true relic recoverist. Like he digs almost every signal. Like that guy digs a lot of holes, but because of that, he's found a lot of great things.
Yeah.
Not coin button, but like a miner's candle holder and you
Yeah, I remember
know
that. Him
that
talking.
kind of stuff. Like like that's relevant, and a lot of people would say like, oh, that's just a big hunk of iron in the ground. I'm not going to dig that, but he digs all that stuff. So good for him.
Yeah, like I said, I'll dig it when there's nothing else left for me to dig. Like even all the iffy signals are gone and it's only iron. Then I'll dig the iron. But I try not to. Only because my luck, I'll find a big, railroad tie or a car frame. Like I wouldn't find a small, you know, candle
Well,
thing.
did you see at Come Out Swinging somebody found a tire rim?
Oh, did they? I didn't
Yeah,
even see that.
giant tire rim. It was in the back of the buggy for like the whole first day. I was like, where did the tire rim? They were like, very early somebody found it. So,
I don't know if I would have kept going. I think if I would have gotten a few inches of it and seen the round, I would have been like, yeah, that's probably gonna have to stay here.
but that's one of those things where you gotta almost like think to yourself like, if I don't dig this, if I don't take it out of the ground, I don't sweep back over the hole, like what could I possibly be passing up? That's always in the back of my mind. If I
Yeah,
don't
that's
dig this
why
piece of iron, like what am I missing?
I saved the iron for last because I'm sure, I've said it before. The relics don't run away from the iron. Oh, I still have you on solo. There you go. Now we can talk. Um, I always say the relics don't run away from the iron. There's relics in the iron too. That's just I don't want to dig the iron unless that's all I have left. Oh, look at see. Dave Hart said he always finds natural gas lines.
Aren't they supposed to be like a certain like depth? Like, aren't they supposed to be below the frost line, like 36 inches down or something?
Yeah, I don't even know. Hey Shane, Looter
Dave
8.
must have that. He must have that sensitivity cranked all the way up. What are you doing out there, Dave?
I know I could find, water lines and things like that. Like you get a nice high tone, and
Yeah,
a lot of people just start hey FLX, they'll start digging it, and I'm like, me, I'll check because there's been times that I went to dig it and realized it was a pipe.
right.
Well, now I'll
Well,
run my
my
machine
thing is,
back and forth, and
yeah, I always worry that if I get that long, tight signal and I don't dig it, is it going to be, the musket barrel that could have been, you
yeah,
know?
no.
So gotta at least take a look at it, see what it
Well,
is.
when you're still going 3 feet later, it probably isn't.
Yeah, that's it.
It's probably look up
It's
and you see a
probably
little
not.
tiny spigot sticking out with a little
Yes.
lawn sprinkler thing sticking out. Yeah, okay, that's a water line.
Yeah, I can walk away from that one and feel good about myself.
And then at my National Historic site, I know that I cut a wire, but nobody ever said something wasn't working, so
So
I didn't say anything either.
it's the phone line. They can't call you to complain.
That's it. I don't know. I think it was an old wire to something. I don't even think it was live.
Yeah,
Because
that's possible.
I was digging my signal and then I saw two pieces of wire and I was like,
Yeah.
no,
Hopefully
just
it was just some
cover me
like
back up.
contractor scrap that they threw back in the yard.
Yeah,
But
hopefully.
that's another
Digs.
thing that should be that if it was done right, it should be buried at a certain depth. It
Yeah, this wasn't
shouldn't
even that deep.
necessarily be.
So,
Yeah.
but my friend never said anything about like, oh, all of a sudden all our computers went down. Nothing.
Right. Right.
So I'm like, it must be like an old wire, maybe an old telegraph wire, because actually Marconi owned this property at one time.
Oh wow.
Yeah, the Diana dish is there. I don't know if you know what that is.
No, no.
That's
What's the
the,
Diana dish?
that's the dish that was the first one to send a signal to the moon.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, and all that was Marconi had it in the early tens, or maybe right before tens, and by World War II, the Army owned it,
Okay.
and they
That's
did their
interesting.
secret telegraph stuff there.
Right. Right.
They were able to signal ships out off the shore, stuff like that.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, it's pretty neat place, pretty neat museum there too. And I get to detect there. I haven't in a while, but let's see.
Yeah, I would
So
imagine a site like that has some interesting history.
it does. Boy Scouts used to camp there. Ku Klux Klan was there for a little bit in the 30s. It was a college, a men's college. The main building that Marconi built at one time was a
Okay,
men's college. Yeah, it has a lot of history there.
that's awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of trash in the dirt.
And a lot of trash in there.
Yeah, a lot, and especially because we used to do a haunt at Halloween. It was the biggest fundraiser for InfoAge Science and Technology Center. That's who runs it. Um, so there's a lot of trash from us building the sets.
Okay.
So I'm sure underneath all that shallow trash, there's probably some good stuff.
So you put some trash in and you brought some trash out. So
Yeah,
it's a
pretty
fair
much.
swap.
Like I said, I haven't been there in a while. Probably go down maybe late, maybe the end of, I don't know, maybe in June before it starts, the dry season starts. There's some woods nearby where the guy who started our local paper here um, built his house in the late 1800s. And he died there. He died by the creek. So, and then another family lived there they built their little mansion there from 1920 to about 1940. And then, like I said, the Army military took it over. So there was Army housing and not far from the two foundations. So there's all kinds of stuff in there.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's a lot of history there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, some of the buildings are still standing. The Marconi building is still standing. Supposedly it's haunted. Maybe we'll do a paranormal investigation there one day.
There you go. Talk to
Well,
Corey from the club. He's a
I
paranormal
was thinking about it.
investigator.
I saw he was getting into it and stuff like that. He has the equipment. I was thinking about it. Maybe I'll contact my friend and see if we could set up something one night. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, he
Supposedly
would love that.
one of the generals died in the office upstairs, sitting at his desk. So you never know. Could be some scary stuff in there as well as
Could be
silver.
some scary stuff.
It
You
could
got a
be pretty
dead you got a
creepy.
dead guy by the river and a dead general upstairs. So
Yeah, yeah. And the water's really not that far away. And yeah, so we could actually do over by the creek and near where the house was at, and we could do the Marconi building. There's been stuff that was caught on the cameras, the security cameras, in some of the outer buildings, like things you can't explain as dust
right.
and little
Right.
bugs.
Not dust specks. Like
Yeah.
all that unexplainable stuff.
Mark said, "Who you gonna call? Not me. I don't play with them ghosts." So yeah, it might be. I don't know. I'll talk to my buddy and I'll talk to Corey and maybe we could put something small together.
Yeah, he has equipment. Will travel. I know he just did a couple of. He did like an old train station. He was at some battlefield doing a thing. So yeah, he's all into that. So I think he
Yeah, it's
would.
pretty
I
neat
think
stuff.
if you could put it together, coordinated for him, I think he would make the trip. And
Oh
then
yeah,
maybe you guys do a little detective while he's up there.
could do that too. I don't know. I'll talk to my. I guess I'll talk to my buddy and maybe we can figure out something. I know they had somebody there. I think once. I'm thinking, or they reached out to them for paranormal investigation. So supposedly there is activity there. So it might be yeah. I'll text my friend. I haven't talked to him in a while anyway.
There you go. The reason to catch up with
Yeah. So hey, can I come spend the night in the Marconi building? The basement they use at Christmas time, or is it after Christmas? Somewhere around Christmas time. The building on the first floor has all these trains. Every scale model train is set up there. They have one room where the kids can have hands on, and the other ones are these professional displays. Like these are, guys who take their hobbies serious and they set up there. And I think they have a huge one down in the basement. But that's I've been down in that basement and it is kind of creepy.
Okay.
And I don't get, scared, but it is creepy.
We're setting up speaking of trains, the Historical Society is going to set up a miniature railroad with dioramas throughout the society.
Oh, that'd
So
be
I think
cool.
it's one of the upgrades that they're doing. They've got a train hobby enthusiast, and he's opening up a shop in town, and that's going to be kind of part of what he does. He's going to put that stuff all together for the society. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, that'd be pretty neat. They used to on 78 on on the eastbound side. Um Probably I want to say about an hour and a half from Harrisburg. I would say about that. Maybe 2 hours from Harrisburg, coming back towards me. There was the Americana.
Roadside America.
Yeah, Roadside America. That shut down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah.
Yeah, I went there probably 10 years ago. No, it had to be before Hurricane Sandy. Probably a year or two before that, when I still had my 66 Mustang. We would go out to CJ Pony Parts in Harrisburg, Customer Appreciation Day. So my family went out with me one year and we all stopped at the Roadside America. And you could tell it was on its last legs because
It was on its legs.
the guy who built it, he had died. The family didn't care. They
Yeah.
just would sit there and take the money, and things were falling apart and things weren't working anymore. But I could appreciate looking at it what it once was.
You could envision what it was. Yeah. When
Yeah.
I was a kid growing up, that was a TV commercial that would run on like our local TV channel. That's all. I was like, I gotta see this. And we never went to see it. I never went to see it until probably around the same time that you went to see it, when the original guy had died and the family really was just like running the operation but not keeping it up. And I think 2 years later it sold, and that was kind of the end of it. But it was
I felt
unfortunate.
bad,
It was disappointing when I went to see it, but I was like, I could kind of envision what it was probably like in its heyday. And
Oh yeah,
it was
that's
still
probably
impressive. It was
awesome
still
because you could
impressive
see
to
like
see, but it was
some things that
definitely,
are broke and they would just like piece it. I could
yeah.
tell it was a family doing it, not because I could see the stuff that was original and how much care was put into
Yes.
making it. And and you could see like where they would fix something and the car wouldn't be the right size anymore, or something. And a newer Matchbox or something, like not
Right.
the
Right.
stuff he had built. But it's like I told my family, I said, don't see it as you see it now. Just like see what this man had made, what his vision was, and it came to be. We just happened to come after his death, probably a decade after, and his family they weren't interested. They didn't have the same interests, but they'll take your money, but the upkeep wasn't there. And I was like, you can see how much work and effort this man put into it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. For
some of the
sure.
things still worked, and some of them were really cool, and but I was like, plus this day and age, yeah, the last couple decades, definitely people weren't going there as much as they probably did up until the 90s because of technology.
Yep.
So kids don't want to see all this handmade and hand built miniatures. It doesn't interest them as much as 60-second YouTube shorts.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So, hey Jim, Mason Merck, metal detecting, detecting smile. Make sure I see everybody. LL, I think I said hi to you. Uh, so yeah, I'm glad I did go through it.
Yeah, I was same thing. I was like, I wasn't disappointed. I could see, this guy's passion, his lifelong work that went into it. But like you said, like there were some scars, but I could see beyond the scars and,
Right.
appreciate it for what it was. But I'm glad that I took the opportunity to see it before it was like gone. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember driving by it. I don't know how long ago it was, and I was like, "Oh my God, they closed it." And I was like, sad. I only went there once, and I knew it had been there 50 years, but I was still
Right.
sad. Like this is something my generation grew up going to, and these following generations, they won't ever probably. A lot of places like that are probably gone.
Yeah, there's not a
roadside
lot of places like
attractions.
that. Yeah.
Uh,
But it's like full circle, right? Like we started our conversation with like, all these changes, all these things are happening, all this history that's going to be lost. And there's a perfect example, like all these changes and that's history that's going to be lost. Like for the
yeah,
longest time, that was, when people in this area were going on camping trips or summer vacation, it was go to Crystal Caves, go to Roadside America, go to Dorney Park, like go to Dutch Wonderland. Those were the things that people did.
yeah. I don't know if anybody even. I mean, except for Dorney Park, I don't. I went to a cave down in Alabama, the biggest one supposedly in Alabama, outside of Huntsville, and there really wasn't that many people. And I remember
Yeah.
going to the caves in the '80s with my dad, and there'd be wait time.
Yeah.
How many people were going through this cave?
Yeah.
And
When I was a kid growing up in the late 70s, early 80s, going to Crystal Cave was like you did that every summer and you looked forward to it. And it was like now, we take our kids there and it's like a ghost town.
crazy. Lucky Duck Digger said, "Oh my God, I loved Dutch Wonderland as a kid."
Dutch Wonderland, yeah.
Yeah,
Everybody's got a picture of themselves on the bench with the two Amish people. Like that's like
we have a few Jersey um, parks like that that are closed. I don't remember what they're called offhand now, but they closed like by the '80s. They were
okay,
open in the '50s, '60s, '70s.
right.
One was Jungle Safari.
Well, we used
Um,
to take our kids to Storybook Land in Jersey, but with some other park prior to that. But that's a pretty solid operation. We would take them there around Christmas time, and the
yeah,
rides were
that's
still
still
open.
open.
They did a nice light show, and but you guys had one of the greatest parks of all time. You guys had Action, wasn't it
I was
Action
just gonna say
Park?
you're gonna say Traction Park.
Traction Park.
Traction
That's
Park. And a lot of people don't know, my area and up don't know that there was actually a sister park to that down in South Jersey. It was an
really what
action
was.
park down there. It was
Oh, I didn't realize there was two parks. I only thought there was only one Action
yeah.
Park.
I guess the one down in South Jersey didn't have as many injuries.
Didn't have as many injuries. Had a little bit more oversight. There is a great
Yeah, I
documentary
only
though
went
on
to it
TV about Action Park.
because
If you haven't seen it, it's one of the greatest things to watch.
oh yeah, Action Park. Um, I only went to the one down in South Jersey because I think it was called the Pine Barrens Action Park, but I don't remember exactly. Um, because I was on this expedition with this group where we hiked, biked, canoed, and sailed the entire circumference of New Jersey.
Wow.
And on one of the parts where I think we were biking, we ended up at the action park, and the group leaders had gotten the park to allow us to sleep overnight there, and we slept in the concession stand, so free soda all night. And but we had to pick weeds in order to stay there and to ride the rides and such. And I did
Okay.
downhill thing with just a stick for a brake.
Oh yeah. The Alpine slalom. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think it was as steep as the one in North Jersey, but it was still pretty steep. You went pretty fast. Hey, headed to the creek. Um, but Dave Hart said, "Remember TV commercials for Brigantine Castle?
Oh, Brigantine Castle. Yes, that was another classic.
Storybook Land is in New Jersey, Jim, and then Storyland is your New Hampshire one. We had Storybook Land. We still do.
Yeah.
But we had another park too, and I don't remember what it was that closed down. And I think that South Jersey Action Park closed down. No,
What
we
was going
picked
to Brigantine
weeds.
Castle, man? Thanks for that. I forgot all about Brigantine Castle.
I wonder what it would take to detect at any Disney park. Make your shoes into metal detectors.
There you go.
Just shuffle.
The shuffle.
And stick a metal detector coil underneath the RC car and just drive it around. I'm sure there's some way to figure it out. We have a beach I would love to detect, and we can't. It's federal, and we're not allowed because there might be munitions. But
Yeah. Well,
if you're, an 8, 10, 12-year-old child, you could dig a 6-foot crater in the sand. on the
Yeah,
same beach.
yeah, on the
That
same
way,
beach.
I can pick up munitions. What am I missing here? Have a great night, Patrick.
Yeah, we've been rolling here. It's 8:45.
Yeah. I mean, if you gotta go, that's good. I usually stream till about. I usually stream an hour and a half.
Man, you go long and strong.
Yeah, I did do an hour, but sometimes we just get on topics and we'll go to 9:30. But I try not to go over an hour and a half because I can only you know talk for so long. But you got new people coming in and other people leaving.
So what else do we got?
Graves. Alice
What was that?
Wonderland said, "My folks took us to Niagara Falls long before they changed them. So much to do and see, and Crystal Caves. I know Crystal Caves.
Yeah.
I think I've been to most of the caves along 78 and 81 because it's right there. We don't have any. I don't think we have any caves in New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What's the other? There's a caverns out here too. Something caverns. I know
Oh,
a lot
Lost
of people
Caverns
go.
or something.
No, it's got a weird name. I forget what it is. Somebody from PA would probably know it. I should know it, but I just can't think of the name right now.
I remember seeing the sign for it. Shoe detecting. I would definitely buy those.
It's like Al Bundy shoe lights.
The Lincoln Cavern. That's what Dave Hart said.
I think it's like I don't know why like Laureldale Caverns is in my head.
I know I've seen a few different cavern signs along
Yeah,
the interstates. Lucky Duck says Lou Ray Caverns.
Luray Caverns. Maybe that's what it is. Luray Caverns.
Yeah, that sounds familiar. Tagalog just says Jersey has exits. Yeah,
Jersey has jug handles. Let's go on a jug handle tour.
we got a lot of them.
Diners and jug handles.
Hey, the first diner was here, so was the first drive-in. Uh, New Jersey is the only state you have to pay to leave and come back in. Other states you pay one way. New Jersey, you pay to leave, pay to come back. Dave Hart says Jersey has tolls. Yep. Hey, I've been doing a lot of traveling, and there's other places that have tolls too.
Yeah.
We just have a lot more.
Just have a lot more.
We have the Parkway and the Turnpike are both toll roads, but if you're smart, you'll take 18 or 295. They're both free.
You have the Parkway and the Expressway, which can become confusing for a first-time driver when somebody says take the Atlantic City Expressway, but then you see the Atlantic City Parkway sign, and you're like, well, that's got to be what they were talking about.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. We have the Parkway. So north and south, we have the Parkway and we have the Turnpike. And then east-west, we have the Atlantic City Expressway and 195. And I mean, up north, we have them coming off of the interstates like 78. But yeah, the Turnpike and I think the Atlantic City Expressway costs money too. I don't really take it, but I think it does. Michigan doesn't have many toll roads. Hey Gary, get you. Let's see. PA has the Turnpike, yeah, but that's the only road you pretty much. I mean, you pay $1 on 81, or no, on 78, but I think that's to leave New Jersey, and then you come back into New Jersey and you hit a toll not long after.
Yeah.
On 78.
Yes, you do.
Hey, Mark, TMD Yorkshire from the UK. It's pretty late over there. What time is it?
Yeah.
It's got to be like almost 3 in the morning. Yeah, they're still saying hi to each other. Oh, Drew said I almost died in a cave once. That was an interesting experience. Well, I'm going to say.
Was there a donkey involved, Drew? Was there a donkey involved in that cave incident?
I'm gonna say, Drew, that you weren't on a guided tour. Mark in Yorkshire said it's 10 to 2, 10 to 2 in the
I'm
morning.
I'm gonna say that Drew gave Jossie some lip, and he almost died in the cave.
I don't know. I wouldn't. I can't go in those caves. The ones I've seen, like Aqua Chica go in, because I have claustrophobia.
Oh yeah, I see him climb into stuff like head first, and I'm like, I'm
I
hoping
mean, he's
someone's
got
pulling
like
him
this
out.
much room, like he's just. I can't do that. If I got stuck, I would just die there. Like even just because my shirt got hung up, I would just that would be it. Life would be over as I know it. Lucky Duck said Aqua Chica gives her heart attacks. He gives everybody heart attacks. That's why we all watch him. Because we all know we wouldn't do that. So if you guys got any questions in the chat for Robert before we wrap this up, any questions about Come Out Swinging, any questions about Boyertown Historical Society? Drew said he was with Bo in a cave when he almost died. Yeah, I just
So the
need
time Drew almost died in the cave, he was with Bo.
yeah.
That's fantastic.
Alice Wonderland said Jersey Way, me too. It's what these cave explorer people do. It's crazy what they do. How do you join Come Out Swinging? Vianta, you when I know you're on Facebook. So when you see the posting for the event, you hit the link, pay your fee, and then you go there.
Yeah, so if you're not a member of the Come Out Swinging page already on Facebook, that's where I would start. Join that Facebook page because that's where we make all the announcements about the upcoming Come Out Swinging events. We don't do any announcements any other way than on Facebook. Everything's
Yeah.
through Facebook.
And then you'll hear it on different live streams.
Yeah, yeah. Other, people like Ray will have it on her stream. Other people have it on their stream, and then we'll also share it on like East Coast and what's it, East Coast and Canada, um, detecting events, and
Oh
then
yeah, yeah. The Facebook
yeah,
page.
yeah. Some of the other like people on Facebook will once we put the first bit of information, we'll start sharing it on their pages as well. But I would say it doesn't cost you to join anything. Um, you know, join the Come Out Swinging page, and you'll get all the information.
Yeah, there you go, Ruth. Bruce said gold hit 2,067.95 per troy ounce today, highest price ever. You hanging on to those gold rings, I would be going right to the gold buyer.
Now's the time to go.
FLX said come out swinging is event is the best. Mike said him and Aqua Chica tried to get in his boat today at the river. The trailer almost got swept away, too flooded.
Well, thank you, FLX and Bo. Be careful.
Expression said, what does it take realistically to organize an event for detectorists?
It depends on what type of event you want to do. Like we decided early on that we wanted to do a natural hunt, but if you wanted to do a seeded hunt, that's a little bit of a different beast. We added a seeded component to our hunt only to give some of the newer people who came or people who came with their kids, and then also some of the feedback that we got from the other detectorists. Being kind of new to the event arena, we weren't exactly sure when we started what the event should look like. So we started off just a natural hunt, and then we listened to some feedback and kind of build it from there. But number one, find a good virgin location if you can, right? Somewhere where no one's ever detected. We try to do at least if we have 75 acres, we'll take 100 people. That's kind of the max. If it's less than 75 acres, we won't take 100 people. So it's not necessarily an acre per person, but we want to make sure that everyone has ample detecting space. When you look out into the fields at our events, it looks like nobody's there, but there's 100 people, but they're all spread out over 75 to 100 acres. The only event that we had less than 100 people at was because we had 62 acres, so we limited it to 75 people. That was the only time we had less than the maximum 100 people. We limit our event to 100 people because it's manageable, and we want everybody to have a good time. We want that small family feel. We don't go crazy with vendors. We have one on-site vendor who handles like all equipment and supply needs. That makes our life easier. We don't ask Nokta for donations. We don't ask MindLab for donations. We don't ask Garrett for donations. We tried that in the beginning. MindLab was awesome at our first event, very helpful in getting us started. But the relationship with equipment manufacturers has grown a little bit cumbersome, because there's so many events going on. So we work with and he's on the chat, we work with Drew, who's our preferred on-site vendor. And he helps us just get the best prices on equipment that we can get. And then, that's what we're using for prizes and things like that. So it just makes it our event. We're not married to any technology or manufacturer. It's just all about the event itself. And we can give away and raffle off and, pretty much do whatever we want because we don't have a quote unquote, vendor sponsor, manufacturer, or whatever the case may be.
Speaking of Drew, he said, "How do you feel about donkeys?"
Man, I would punch a donkey if I saw it right now.
Mason Merck asks, "How many events do you guys do a year?" He missed the earlier discussion, so I'll answer for you. He does 2 a year. There's the spring fling and the fall frolic.
There it is. Well done.
I remembered the names.
Yeah.
Yorkshire said he hasn't been out digging for months. He injured his knee last year, hoping to get back out soon. I hope so too, buddy, but take it easy when you do because you don't want to make that permanent.
Yeah, for sure. Do like me, get some got some of those compression things that I put on my knees now.
I went home from work early today because my back was killing me. I couldn't even move. T-Rep Adventures, hello. Let's see if there's anything else. I know I saw something else in here. Drew said it's a lot of work.
Yeah, Drew knows. Drew was instrumental in us putting together the first event, right? So, we started reaching out to the detectors community in general, and a couple of people said, like, contact this guy Drew. He's a good guy to work with. He's a multi-line vendor. So, we contacted him, and I think it was through, maybe it was Bob and Donna kind of got us in touch with Drew, and then Drew helped us out, and then Drew got us connected with MindLab. I mean, look. MindLab, I said it before, MindLab was awesome at our first event. They brought out the new Jeep. I may be wrong, but I think we were the first event that the Jeep was at. Like, it was like fresh out of the box, new car smell. We had the inflatable, coil. We had their tent set up. We had their test garden. We had all their machines. It was great, But the reality of that was there's 500 other events that, like, Dig Stock has a tendency to be like a week before or a week after all of our events, right? Like,
yeah,
just happens that way. Where are they going to go? Are they going to come to an event with 100 people, or are they going to go to an event with 1,000 people? I mean, that's a no-brainer. I know where I would be going. It's more exposure for them and for their technology. Any manufacturer, I would expect that's the way that they would run their business. But for us, it was really about, we said, hey, if you want to have a relationship, we'll have a relationship. If not, that's fine. This is the way we'll run it. And we just basically run it now. It's one guy shows up, and sells stuff. And then other than that, it's just all about the people who come and detecting. It's not about the vendors. It's not about personalities or celebrities. They show up, don't get me wrong, but we don't ask them to come. Like, we don't set up a booth for them. They don't have their own tents. Like, if they're coming to detect. And that's what the event's about. Just come and detect, hang out and have fun.
Yeah. Well, you have me there, and I'm a celebrity, so
Well, yeah, we got a couple celebrities, you know.
I'm a nobody. I'm just a celebrity in my head. Any other questions, guys? Because we're gonna wrap this up. It's like 9 o'clock, and some of us got to work tomorrow. Some of us are up really late at night, like Yorkshire.
Yeah, that guy's burning the oil.
Yeah, unless he works overnight, we don't know.
That's possible. He could be a third shifter.
Night, Danny boy. But if you guys don't have any questions,
Well, Ray, I'm going to say thank you for having me on the show tonight. I always appreciate our conversations. I hope everybody that was in the chats had a good time. And if you're a Boyertown Relic Recovery Club member, hopefully we'll see you at the late May, early June club hunt that's coming up. If not, maybe we'll see you at the next Come Out Swinging.
yeah, I'll message you. Because I keep meaning to join the historical society, but I always forget while I'm there.
Yeah, look, I mean, tonight they were doing a presentation at the society on the covered bridges in the local area. There's like 4 or 5 of them around here, and one of the historical society members restored one of the bridges, so he was doing a presentation. So every month, so like when you join the Relic Recovery Club, you become a historical society member, and you can come to those things. Like last month was a guy, a beekeeper, was giving a presentation. Thanks, Ohio Metal Maven. A guy was giving a presentation on beekeeping. In the summer, Dennis and Christy Wissinger, who are 2 local detectorists who probably have a combined 60 plus years of detecting experience and thousands of finds, are going to be doing a presentation on metal detecting and relic recovery at the Historical Society. So all of those events are free when you join the Relic Recovery Club. You can come and hang out and see the presentations. We also because of what we do at Come Out Swinging and helping raise funds for society, we just purchased what was a 1700s linseed oil mill, and it was repurposed into a wheel spoke and axe handle mill, during the 1800s. So now the Historical Society owns that building, so we'll be hosting, events there. We may actually start hosting the Relic Recovery Club meetings inside that mill. That may become kind of our headquarters. So just a lot of great, a lot of great stuff going on. If you're interested, you want more details, I'm sure, Ray can, share my information on where you can find me on Facebook, and that'd be awesome.
Look at that. Digologist wants to come to the next one. I hope so.
All right, Digologist. I'm marking it down.
He's going to keep a list of all of you guys that say you're going to go.
You said you were coming.
You can hang out for 1 second, Robert. I'll say goodnight to everybody, and I'll say bye to you off camera. All right, everybody. You have a great night, great week. Thanks for sharing the link, Nicole. That was awesome. Check out the Facebook page, Come Out Swinging. Join it. It's free, Then maybe if you're on the East Coast, if you're not already, you can make an event. Not terribly expensive, but a really awesome time. I'll see you guys next week, next Wednesday night. Otherwise, I'll see you in the chats all around. We all know who's live and when. See you Friday night at the premieres. And have a great week. Peace.